Hello, this is Donald Garrett, and I am presenting multiple choice questions in PowerPoint. And the target audience for this presentation is practicing parliamentarians, because part of our body of knowledge is to be able to instruct in parliamentary procedure, and then also using technology to achieve that. And so what we're going to do today, I'm going to go over a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced way in PowerPoint to present multiple choice questions as an educational tool. And as a reminder, this is a video, so please feel free to pause, follow along, rewind, take as much time as you need to follow along with the presentation and everything. Without further ado, we will start with the beginner way of doing a multiple choice question. And so with this question, we're saying motions related to methods of voting are, then you have the different options A, B, C, D right there. Normally, when you're instructing a class, you give time for the students to read everything, and you might, ask people to raise their hand if they think to know the answer, etc., etc. And so we have the question, and then the answer to it was B, amendable. And I also put there the page reference on Robert's Rules of Order Newly Revised of where you can find the correct answer. And then at this point, if you were instructing a class, that's where you would tell the students to go there, and you can talk about that concept and everything. But this is a beginner one because it is very, very easy to do. All it is just 2 slides, one with the question and one with the answer. So I'm going to exit out of this, and we're going to do it from scratch over here. Ooh, there's a typo right there. And so in order to do that, like I said, we're going to need 2 slides. And so at the top over here in the menu bar, we're going to say New Slide. And we choose a title and content. And I normally put the question as the title, and then you do different answer choices as the content. So let's see, for example, I'm going to type in the question that we had. And here is where, in this top box, you just click and you can start typing. And then in the second box where it says click to add text, you can just click right here. And this is where we start putting in our potential answers, right? And just like a multiple choice test, all I did was do the A, B, C, D with the different answers. And we're just going to type that. So with A, we had A, debatable. You press enter or return to go to the next bullet point. Then we had B, amendable. Then we had C, able to be referred to a committee. And then D, the world famous all of the above. Right? And so, like I said, it was, this is very beginner because it was only 2 slides. And so this is the slide number 1 that has the question, the possible answer. Slide number 2 needs to have the correct answer and the page reference in Robert's Rules. And so the best way to do slide number 2, over here on the left-hand side of the screen, we're just going to right-click it, and then say duplicate. And look, it's an exact duplicate. And by doing that, you have to make sure you don't have a typo in the title or anything like that. And our correct answer was B. So all we have to do is delete, keep pressing backspace in every other answer that was not B. Great. And then after B, I put in the page reference to Robert's Rules. So if we have B, right, and so that's all we have. And so we can go to slideshow, and we're going to at the top slideshow, then I'm going to review it from the beginning. I have my title page, question on one slide, answer the next slide, B is the answer. And see, that was very, very simple right there, like that, and you just need to repeat that for the different types of questions that you have. That was the beginner way, so if you need to pause at this point and try it out for yourself, please do that. And if not, we are going to proceed to the intermediate way for questions, for doing multiple choice questions. So I have here, which of the following are the preferred terminology under Roberts for multiple pending motions to amend? This one's always fun. So we have the different options for A, B, C, D. And what I'm going to do is advance, right? And look, see, I had a circle go around C, just like if it was a real test where you take your pencil and you circle around the answer. I'll play that one more time. So look at the option for C. Look, we have it circle, and then we can advance the slide one more time and put the page reference at the bottom. So this is maybe just a tad bit harder than the beginner way, but it's really fun because it actually kind of simulates what you would do if you had a real piece of paper. And also, this all happens on the same this happens on only the same slide, which I'm about to show you. And so this actually reduces the number of slides that you would have in your presentation. So I'm going to go over to my sample presentation over here. And we're going to create a new slide. And again, at the top, I'm just going to type in my question, but instead I'm just going to copy and paste it to save a little bit of time. Because in the beginner way, we learned how to do one line at a time, right? And so for my page reference, after I finish typing in a D, you just press Enter, return a few times, and then that's where you can put in the page reference. Right, and so here we are. The only thing we're missing now from this slide is the fancy circle animation, and that's really fun to do. So the shape that we circled over the answer letter for C, I just said the answer, it was a circle. And how we insert a circle is within PowerPoint, you can go to the Insert menu at the top, and then there's shapes right here, kind of towards the left center. And let's see, it looks like circle oval is right here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to circle over the answer C. Now you're going to maybe go like that, make sure it's nice and covered. And so you're probably looking and saying, well, okay, cool, that's there, but it's covering up the answer now. How'd you make it look all cool like that? Very, very simple. So click on the circle, and this changes the top up here to the different coloring options for your circle. And to make it be like a pencil outline, all you have to do is over here where it says shape fill, say no fill, and then for shape outline, you can choose what color outline you want. We'll just do blue on the slide. And then for shape outline, one more time, we're going to go to weight, and then we're going to increase the weight to a little bit thicker, like that, so you can actually see. So if you look behind the menu as I go up, the circle gets thicker and thicker. Maybe we'll choose 3-point. That looks like a good one right there. Okay, great. So now that we have this, if we play our slide, the answer is already revealed. So what we need to do is actually hide the circle and then reveal it when it's time to end the presentation. And so within that, make sure your circle is selected. And then we are going to go to animations at the top toolbar. And let's see, let's choose one. I think I did wipe. Let's try wipe. That's perfect. It actually looks like someone is drawing it. If you go for the effect options over here, we could say from the left, but I think I might do from the top. Great. So if we go to our slideshow and we play it, nothing is there, right? And as soon as we click on the slide or press the right arrow key to advance it, there you go, it appears. One more thing though, if you notice, the page reference, we also want that to be hidden until it's time after the correct answer is given. And that's also going to be in your animations pane. So go to the animations menu and we can just kind of highlight the page reference right there, and maybe we'll say fly in. But I want the fly in from the left. Over here for effect options, you can change the direction. So if we review our slide from the current slide, we have the question with all the different answer options. I allow for some discussion in the class. Okay, person A, looks like you got the right answer. You press right on the keyboard to advance the slide. The correct answer is circled. You press right on the keyboard one more time or click on the slide, and the page reference appears. And that's where you can lead everyone in the class, open up their books, and to go look and see like why that's the correct answer. And so we just did the intermediate version. Again, if you need to pause the video and rewind a little bit to follow along again, please do so at this time. And if not, we're going to proceed to the advanced way for multiple choice questions. Advanced is actually my favorite because it's truly the most educational out of all of them. And when I say advanced, this one is a little more time consuming. And so, you know, make sure if you're going to put all of this extra effort into creating a slide like this, that you also be compensated for your efforts probably, because this advanced option really is the most educational, and I'm about to show you why. So let's see. The question we have is a point of order. And let's see, if we have A, must be decided on by the presiding officer before business can resume. B, can be amended to include further alleged transgression of the rules. C, can never be made while a report is being read. And D is a secondary motion. Let's see. Well, we'll the audience. We'll play around with the audience. Let's say people say, "Oh, it's C. It's C." Okay, let's look at option C. Oh, look, here it says incorrect, and it tells us to go to Robert's Rules of Order, page 249. Let's see. I have my Roberts here, and here it is on line 13. A point of order is an order when another has the floor, even interrupting a person speaking or reading a report if the point genuinely requires attention at such time. So there, that's how you can not only tell the user that the answer, and the other ones, you only tell the students what the correct answer is. In this advanced version, we tell the students the incorrect answer and why it is incorrect, or point them into the book to why it is incorrect, right? So this is actually the most interactive one because there's no, because it's not predetermined, and so it's really dynamic to go with the flow of the class. And so if we click on some of these other options, we see that D is the correct answer, right? We also could have put a page reference in the correct box if we wanted to, but as you can see, this makes it the most interactive and most educational, that if someone has a presentation on their computer, they can do it for self-study, or if you're giving it to the class, if everyone knows the correct answer, you can just kind of go on and keep moving. But if it's an incorrect answer and the class has a big misconception, together you give them the page reference and you're able to kind of tailor your education more towards the audience that way. And so, this one's pretty cool. This is the advanced option, so I'm going to show you how I made this in the PowerPoint. So I'm going to go back and create my new slide. And so to save some time, I'm just going to copy and paste our question and answers that we have. And so the secret to the advanced version is making sure it's dynamic and you're hiding the potential answers and clues at the bottom of the page. And so actually, just to show you what's happening here with this presentation, it is actually just a little table that we have hidden by these squares right here. And I'm going to show you it's so easy to create. So if we have our 4 options, A, B, C, and D, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Insert menu at the top, and then we're going to go to Table. And then since we have, it's going to be a 1-row table with 4 cells. I will take that back. 1 row, 4 columns. There we go, 4 by 1 right there. And we're just going to kind of drag this right here at the bottom and, maybe make it that big or so. This background, let's see. So for the shading, I think just if we select all the different cells, we're going to make sure our borders are on. And for the shading, I think just a white is fine for this. And in this one, we have to make sure we go in order A, B, C, and D. So for A, we said it was incorrect. Oh, see, make sure my font is visible in all of them. Okay. And we'll select all these cells, maybe make the font a little bit bigger, center them, and that looks good. And so the next thing we have to do, if you remember from the presentation, these are just shapes that we added to hide the table, right? So if we remember from the intermediate version, what we did to insert the circle, instead we can go to the Insert menu, Shapes, and instead of a circle, we'll pick a rectangle, or I kind of like this one that says with the rectangle with the rounded corners. And we're just going to click, drag over, make sure it's nice and covered, and then when you click on the shape, just type in A. And we'll make the A a little bit bigger. And so we can just copy and paste it, or we can draw B, C, and D, but I'm just going to do copy and paste. Oops. Oops. Okay. Let's see, we'll right click. Say copy. And we'll right click. And paste it. Change it from C to D. Right. And so maybe we'll make it just a little bit bigger to hide the little table edges. That looks fine to me, that looks fine to me. I'm just doing this really quickly for you guys. And so the next part is we need to add our animations to this in order to make them dynamic. And so under the animations tab, we're going to click on this. We're going to click on A. And we're going to see this. There's two down arrows. Click the double down arrow so you see all the options. And instead of the shape entering, see entrance, we want the shape to exit. And again, we'll just use the wipe there, right? And so we want the shapes to exit, but we don't want it to exit in a certain order. We want to exit dynamically. And so when you have the shape still clicked in the animations option menu, over here, let's see, over here, we're going to add a trigger. And on the click of, and if you look, this is one key annoying part with the PowerPoint. Instead of saying, so it was really important to make sure you do A, B, C, D in order, because it only counts the shapes in I guess chronological numerical order, and so A is going to be the least number of the rounded rectangles because we made it first. So A is going to, so this rectangle that has A is going to be rectangle 4 here for the trigger. And so if we play our presentation, see, look carefully at my mouse right now. See where it's in the B, right? If I go over here to A, it changes the icon to make it like it looks like a clickable link. And so when I click on it, that's when it vanishes away. So we're going to repeat that for B, C, and D. Again, instead of an entrance animation, we're going to do an exit animation. And the trigger is on the click of the second rectangle. C is the third rectangle. And D is the last rectangle, the greatest number. And so when you go to play your presentation, it doesn't matter what order I do it in. I can do C first, and then A first, and then D first. Or if I go back, maybe we'll do D first. But that was the correct answer. So instead it was B, then A, and then no, it's actually D. And if you see, it looks a little rough. I did this kind of quickly. So you might want to make sure when you do the presentation to kind of hide the little table borders right there. But that's only if that's something you care about. But that looks like it might be a lot of work. I have another secret for you. If you don't want to have to keep doing that, because it's dynamic, all you have to do is if you go to the slide over here on the left side of the corner and you right click it, you could say duplicate. And all the little animations for these boxes right here have been duplicated for you. So all you have to do is just change the question and the answer choices. Right, and then you just kind of drag A up, drag it back down, and then just do the rest for each one of these, etc., etc. So that's my little secret. You put in a lot of hard work on one of them, make sure it looks all nicely formatted, just exactly how you like it, and then you can just do the duplicate slide in order to keep all these animations here at the bottom, but just change the content of the questions and answers. And so that's all I have for you. That was a pretty quick video, right? You have the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced option for your PowerPoint presentations. And so if you have any questions, this is my email address right here, donaldigarrett@gmail.com. Please send me an email or leave a comment below if you have any questions on this video. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope you found it nice and educational.